starting. Hello world, it's good to see you back in my favorite little patch of land by the lovely treed area. I really like it, and I get to hear the sounds of children laughing and playing, which I really like too. So my name is Rachel Silber. I am, amongst many other things in life, an Access Consciousness certified facilitator, and I love being curious. I love asking questions. I love discovering things. And I love the freedom that I've received with the tools and the questions of Access Consciousness to see different possibilities in the world. So a lot of people, when they come to me and begin taking classes, or they come for sessions and they have questions about life and living and the way the world works, are busy trying to get things right. They're busy trying to ask the right question, do the right thing, what's the correct process for such and such, whereas what if there is no right and there is no wrong? There's what's going to work for you, what's going to light you up, what's going to change your world, what's going to be particular in your experience. Your way of looking at the world is going to be so very different from the way my experience is and the way that I looked at the world. The more we're willing to allow ourselves to just kind of take a step in a direction that we'd like our life and living to be inspired by things and head that way without having to figure out the right path or to know exactly how it is that we're supposed to do such and such. There is no right path. There is maybe what's worked for me, or what's worked for, in the Gary Douglas case, for example, the founder of Access Consciousness, or somebody else, but no two people are ever alike. And whatever you've experienced up to this very moment is exactly what's colored your world. It's what's brought you right here, right now, where you could choose something that nobody else could choose. You're the only person on the planet who can bring that depth and breadth of experience, that way of looking at things, that energy into the world, choosing what you would like to choose. So it's really cool where we don't have to look for what is the next step specifically, as opposed to, hey universe, I'm choosing what's going to be light and bright and joyful and wonderful for me. And what else is possible? I don't have to know the how. I don't have to have somebody else's system or structure or, their plan from A to Z on how they got things done. I'm going to know what works for me. And I'd like to have this in my life and that in my life and the other in my life. And what can I choose next? And how much more can I add? And how much more fun can I have if I'm willing to be myself and discover the process for me? Because ain't no two miracles exactly alike. Each one of us is totally different. Hey, Yvonne. So each one of us is totally different. Nobody does things in the same way. Even Dr. Dane, who spoke about fracking in one of his Facebook Lives in a group that I so enjoy, and I've been enjoying since March, called Be Different, Stay Weird. Well, you know what? Be different means you ain't the same as anybody else. So, pumpkin, you get to make different choices. You get to have different experience. You get to be a different invitation in the world, being you. What a concept. And what else is possible for the rest of the world if you'd be willing to be the invitation that you truly be and choose your unique, different kind of imprint, your different way, your different path, and how to create. What would that inspire out there for everybody else? I wonder. And that's where we don't see, we look at ourselves and we think, oh, we're not so much of a contribution because, everything's been said or been done before. Really? Not your way. Not with your way of looking at things, not with the way you grasp things, not with your flavor, not with your experience. Nobody could invite the world in the way you can when you're being yourself. as you don't have to be like anybody else. You get to be like you. And that invites other people to be like them and to see that, yeah, something else could be possible. And you know what? There are people who judge. Oh, well. I was in the car with my daughter earlier and she was telling me, oh, I don't think these particular kids in school like me so much. And I said, why is that? Because I walked in with some purple in my hair and they were whispering about me. I'm like, awesome! When you're willing to be the one that's spoken about and willing to take it and enjoy you no matter what, you're willing to receive anything. Because you know that point of view that they have is about themselves. It's not about you. They're looking in a direction that's judging themselves, and the only way that they know how to deal with it is by pointing out. Right? Maybe there are certain risks that they weren't willing to take. Maybe, you know, they're not allowed to dye their hair purple. Whatever. It's got more to do with them than it does to do with her, right? And she was so proud to be as weird as she was. She was so proud to be different and didn't care whether anybody was pointing fingers at her. She felt good enough within herself. She was in the state of just ease with herself that it just didn't matter. Because in her direction, what she was looking for was ease and joy and wonder. And by looking towards that way, she doesn't have to gather all the evidence of all the other stuff. So, yeah, I'm a bit of an ADD brain, and so my head goes in 10 different directions. So I started by, what is it that we're looking for? What is our path? Well, there is no one path. If we follow whatever lights us up, whatever is amazing, joyful, exuberant, fantastic for us, puts a smile on, well, I call them both sets of lips, yeah, that's our contribution to the world when we're truly being that. Because most of the rest of the world is generally looking for piling up the evidence about how unfair, how terrible, how difficult, how horrible, how, the world is. And whatever you look for, truly, whatever it is that you're looking for, you're gonna find, right? And you're gonna find it because your filter, your glasses, your lenses for looking at the world is geared to back up exactly whatever judgment you have, whether the world's a fantastic, miraculous place or is really terrible and horrible. You will find exactly what it is that you're looking for. And if you're looking for, what can I appreciate? How much more gratitude can I have? Hey, it's Thanksgiving week. Well, in the United States anyway. In Canada, it was beforehand. Hey, Christine. In Canada, it was beforehand. But this, for me, like this whole time, this second half of November, wherever I am, it just reminds me, even first Thanksgiving I ever experienced ever in my life. Thanksgiving doesn't exactly exist in Israel, which is where I was born. The first one ever, we had no idea what Thanksgiving was, but my brother was in a car accident, hit by a drunk driver, and the car that he had worked for months and months and months to get was totaled. And we were still so grateful that he made it out alive, and the two passengers, the two other teens that were in the car with him, made it out alive, and one was hospitalized for a while, but made it out alive and is now a doctor. So hey, how does it get any better than that? And yeah, he liked doctors after spending a few months in the hospital healing from that accident. So universe works in mysterious ways. And what is right about all of these situations, and what is right about us that we may not be getting? So yeah, we could look from a perspective of we're going to judge ourselves and we're going to cut ourselves down, or we're going to look for how difficult things can be, or we can begin to look, what do I know here? What do I know that I've been denying that I know? That if I were willing to know it, willing to choose it, willing to have ease with it, would change anything and everything that seems so difficult for anyone else. Because there's something here that only I know, or only I can contribute, or only I can be the invitation to. None of us are superfluous here. Each of us being ourselves is a gift. We showed up on this planet now to be able to be that change that creates a little magic in the world when we're willing to fully step into being as different, as weird, as fabulous, as fantastic as we truly be, and not judging ourselves for it. So what is it that you're looking for? And what is it that you're looking at? And it's not about getting anything right. It's not about what is the next right step or this is the way I have to do things. It's if you know what you'd like to add in your life. If you know that there's something that would delight you. A friend of mine, Lale Hancock, got a Maserati a couple years back. Maserati a couple of years ago would have been in this, no, I would never ever even consider anything like that, because like, for me. And over the last few months, I've been playing with Lale's Maserati, although I'm not there touching it, but I'm totally willing to receive the energy and the contribution and the invitation that it is. Like, I wonder, what would I like to add to my life? What kind of car would be sexy, fun, and joyful for me? And I drive past the Maserati dealership when I take my daughter to school. I'm not saying I'm gonna have a Maserati, but I do know I'm gonna have a car that's gonna be joyful, yummy, and a phenomenal contribution to my life and living. It's not about the house. It's not about figuring out somebody else's way. It's about knowing, trusting. That's the sense of control. If you read the How to Become Money workbook, written by Gary Douglas, channeled by Gary Douglas, he says that control, it isn't about micromanaging anything. It's not about telling the universe, okay, well, show me, how do I do this? No, it's about knowing that you're gonna have it no matter what. That confidence, that trust, that I'm gonna have this, because I'm gonna have this, because this, I'd love to have this kind of thing in my life, but not this, I've got to wrap up my life, my living, my worth in this. No, that desperation tends to push anything and everything away. It's from just like, I like that. I like that. That's pretty cool. I like the way that looks and feels. What'll it take to have that in my life? And being the invitation, hello little papitos. Hola. Wow, they're so cute. It's about being willing to be that and to invite whatever works for you in your life and living. Hola. So, anyway, a security guard here has pulled over to see why I'm recording a Facebook Live sitting out in the middle of the street. So how does it get any better? Sí. Oh, no sabía.